Next time you go camping, be careful you don't end up like this story. In 2009, a church retreat goes deep into the forest to stay the night. Wanting to kill some time, the adults play cops and robbers with the kids. While chasing one of the kids, the adults see something hiding in between the tall grass. It stands up, runs to the adults, and stops right at the edge of the grass, waiting for the adults to get closer. Thinking it's one of the kids, they start to chase it. Right when they get near it, it dives into the grass and starts crawling like a snake. It starts climbing a tree, looks at them with these deep red eyes, and lets out a deep, horrific screech. The adults start to run, and they never look back.
This is the Sally house. Okay. That's what it looks like.
Wait till you see all three of these pictures.
The negative of this creature. There's the negative. And again, the negatives don't lie. You can't fake a negative. So we have the negative. And the color picture is here.
Whoa.
Welcome to Corvin Castle, one of the most haunted places in Romania. Though it's fairy tale-esque in appearance, Corvin Castle has been a place of torture, imprisonment and death to many. It's been around since the 15th century and is famed for having held Vlad Tepes, the real-life inspiration for Dracula, prisoner in one of its underground dungeons. Vlad is rumoured to have developed his bloodlust here while feasting on the bodies of rats to survive. Some even say his ghost remains down there. Then there's a ghostly monk who was walled up inside a tower, and another sad story of 3 Turkish monks who were promised freedom if they dug a well deep enough to hit water. 15 years of digging later, they struck water, but instead of freedom, they were murdered. This is all before even mentioning the bear pits where prisoners were typically disposed of. Oh yeah, also this was the filming location for the horror movie The Nun. Full videos on the Amy's Crypt YouTube channel.
If you treat people poorly so you can be famous, watch out for the tengu. The tengus are supernatural creatures from Japan lore. They love punishing humans who misuse knowledge for power and fame. They will enter their dreams and manipulate them in any way they choose. And if they plan on fighting back, good luck, for tengus are extremely skilled warriors. They can be both good and evil. You never truly know which one you'll get. Tell me, if you could choose one famous person to meet a tengu, who would it be and why? Let me know in the comments.
Did you know that there's actually a haunted Ronald McDonald bench in Mexico?
This is actually one of the most bizarre stories that I've ever heard.
The story goes that 2 young men had just left the nightclub and were very hungry and went looking for a late night snack.
They both settled on having McDonald's, and once they had gotten their food, they both took a seat on the Ronald McDonald bench outside of the restaurant.
It was a strange bench because it had a statue of Ronald McDonald sitting in the middle with his arms spread out. His face almost had this crazed expression.
And one of the men eventually laid down on Ronald's lap and said, "I'm tired."
Just then, Ronald McDonald's head turned and looked down at him and said,
"I'm tired too."
The legend says they were so shocked by hearing this that one of them died instantly and the other is still in a coma to this day. Apparently the security cameras outside the restaurant recorded everything.
So it is rumored that McDonald's paid a huge amount of money to cover it up.
Because they didn't want the public to find out they had an actual really dangerous haunted McDonald's statue.
If you're ever on a plane and it starts to break down, look out of the window and you might see a gremlin. During World War II, there was numerous pilots saying they saw real-life gremlins on their plane. Gremlins are known for their love of causing malfunctions on planes and cars. They cause so much problems to the Royal Air Force, they actually created posters warning of the creature. It is said that gremlins taught humans about machinery, but we never gave them credit, so now they seek revenge. They were made famous by movies like Gremlins, where if you feed them after midnight, they turn evil. Tell me, if you saw a gremlin on your plane, what would you do? Let me know in the comments.
A Pennsylvania cemetery contains the only caged graves in the United States. In Catawissa, overseeing the farms from the hillside, you will find 2 graves protected by beautiful iron cages. If you ask locals, they might tell you that these were designed to contain the witches or vampires that lie 6 feet under. They may be a rare example of a mort safe designed to keep body snatchers from illegally selling the corpses for medical study. They may stand to deter coyotes or other animals. Once known as Mount Zion Cemetery, these unique graves were the reason for the alteration to Hooded Grave Cemetery.
Sewer monster. This eerie footage of a monster in the sewer was found by a United Kingdom sewer engineer. While it's hard to make out exactly what this cryptid could be, we can tell a few things about it. It walks on 2 legs and has a humanoid shape, although it appears slightly larger than most people. While its eyes appear to glow, this is likely a red-eye effect, like what you would see in a flash camera, or how a cat's eye refracts light and appears to glow in the dark. Still, that alone is unsettling, and it's unlikely to be a human with eyes like that, and no animal we know of moves the way this cryptid does. The other thing that is frightening about this cryptid is its speed. It moves fast enough that if you blink, you just might miss it. Still, perhaps the simplest explanation for this cryptid is the correct one. All footage of this monster was posted by the United Utilities YouTube channel on April 1st, 2011. Do you think this creature is an elaborate April Fool's prank? Or is there really something lurking down?
Giant monsters caught on tape. Now supposedly during a big storm on the beach, a giant monster came out. Some people say it was special effects, while others say that it was a giant monster named Cthulhu. Scientists say big creatures like this can't exist on land because their bones wouldn't be able to support their body. But in the ocean, it's possible. All I know is I'm moving to Mars. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is real or fake. Was it really a monster, or are they covering up saying it was effects? And like this video if you want more giant creatures caught on tape.
Here are some true and creepy late-night drive-thru stories. The first story is about a woman who worked at a Dairy Queen, and during one of her shifts after the sun went down, this lady had ordered 5 ice cream cones.
Well, when she pulled around to the window, she saw that the woman had 4 dolls buckled into the back seat. And as she was handed the ice cream, she would lean back and give one to each doll.
She acted like it was totally normal, said thank you, and drove away. The next story is about a man who worked the night shift at McDonald's, and he always had this regular customer who was a little bit odd.
He had a huge beard and was always wearing a Hawaiian button-up shirt. And he always had a fake skeleton wearing a hat in his passenger seat.
He would dress it up differently every single day and would never say anything about it.
There was another man who worked the night shift at Taco Bell, and one night around 11 p.m. he saw this man dressed in a black cloak that would walk up to the drive-thru speakers and would stare at the camera for 10 minutes straight before walking away.
So the people who worked there started calling this guy the Mannequin Man.
Thank you for bringing this up because I am so stoked to talk about it. This is the Ursuline convent in New Orleans, and legend has it that this attic is home to bloodsuckers. As many of you know, the founders of New Orleans were mostly French tradesmen and explorers, and primarily men. Because of there being so few women, the colonizers reached out to King Louis to help them out. The king resolved this by sending girls and young women from convents and orphanages to New Orleans for marriage. It's said that these women were pale and gaunt and each carried a coffin-like suitcase much like this, earning these young women the name the Casket Girls. Now supposedly as soon as these women arrived, the mortality rate in New Orleans went up, especially the infant mortality rate. This caused the convent nuns to reach out to the archdiocese. After an investigation, the caskets were taken to the attic of the convent and sealed by 800 nails individually blessed by the Pope. Rumors started swirling that vampires had been smuggled into New Orleans, and many passerbys have claimed to see these shutters fly open on misty nights. I didn't have time, but I'll definitely be doing a part 2 about the paranormal investigators who lost their lives investigating this place.
Really weird things caught on camera that are completely unexplained. This one is one of the creepiest ones I've done. This guy is always hearing sounds coming from the spare bedroom in his house. So he goes in here, he checks out the bear because that's where he heard the sound coming from. There's nothing there. He turns the camera really fast. There's a mirror there. Now I slowed the video down. Look what he caught in the mirror. There's literally a woman sitting in the chair. This is super creepy.
What's up? These are some of the scariest things ever caught on camera. Part 1. The picture above supposedly shows a haunted doll that was made by a prisoner in a World War II camp and was gifted to a man named Michael Diamond. Now Michael, as soon as he got this doll, knew that this was not any ordinary dummy. You see, right when this doll was in Michael's possession, he had an eerie feeling that filled his body and convinced him to set up a GoPro camera and capture anything that this doll may have been doing overnight. His shadow box is now covered up with a blanket and wrapped in a chain, and this next clip will explain why. Now I know you all saw that, and honestly I can't explain it, but Michael Diamond, the owner of the puppet, even claimed that he collects unusual artifacts on a daily basis. This one in particular gave him the fright of his life. Don't forget that demons can latch on to certain objects, so who's to say this isn't one?
Footage was taken on a highway by a traffic surveillance camera in the United Kingdom and shows a strange creature crossing the road at a reasonably quick pace. It resembles the appearance of a dog or a deer, but people have pointed out that it is running in a different way and that it has different characteristics. Several sightings of a strange creature had been reported in this area around the same time as this recording, and the creature became somewhat of a local legend known as the Wessex Way monster. People have stated that this may be CGI, as the passing car in this footage doesn't seem to be taking much notice to this creature, and the animal doesn't appear to have a shadow. But if you look closely, you can see that the creature does produce a shadow at certain parts of the clip. While viewers are divided about the authenticity of this video, no definitive answers have been given, and it still remains a mystery today.